Hello, everyone. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about um, creating spaces in your day to enable the um, the witness of your conditioning into your life in order to promote change, positive change in your life. Um, I've been doing this exercise a lot. I've been um, uh, doing these, I guess Buddhists would call mindful exercises, or Eckhart Tolle uses it as, I prefer spaces as something that Eckhart Tolle um, states, creating spaces in your day in order to enable you to see some of the conditioning patterns that you've been experiencing in your life. And really, that's the only way in order to have true freedom and in order for you to free yourself from suffering, from karmic cycles. Um, Otherwise, you are trapped in them. You don't even realize that you're in those patterns. The only way you're able to kind of break through those things is through presence, and you really won't have enough presence in you unless you're able to kind of sporadically through your day create spaces. Um, um, Eckhart Tolle, had talked about a few um, things that you could do to create spaces, like washing your hands consciously without thinking. I think it was Thich Nhat Hanh, I believe that's his name, uh, had mentioned like brushing your teeth without thinking, doing it very consciously. Things that you normally take for granted, and you kind of do it as a means to an end to get to the next thing, to get to the next step. Um, you do that consciously, and what that is doing is it's creating spaces for, I'd like to use the word the divine, to be able to enter into your life, into your experience. And we tend to filter that out with our thinking. And when you allow that through your presence, you're actually finally living your life fully, because you're using this present moment to be yourself fully in this moment. Even doing something simple like brushing your teeth, or taking a shower and actually feeling the water. And taking a shower can be a very enjoyable experience. I'm finding that that to be true in my experience. Um, I I had an experience one time, several years ago, the last time we went to Europe, before I was practicing this, um, where we got stuck in London. We accidentally missed our flight back home, and we got stuck in London for a couple days. One day we stayed all night in the airport, and um, because we didn't want we were so frustrated and flustered that we missed our flight, that and then when we went to try to see if there was a hotel available, the hotel was so exorbitant. The price was just ridiculous that I was so mad. I said, we'll just stay in the airport all night, and so we did. And then of course the next morning there was no space on the plane to be able to get on. So I finally broke down and I said, okay, we're going to a hotel. And one of the first things I remember doing was, I just finally took a shower after just not bathing for, that long, and taking a shower. And I remember thinking, I finally did that and took a shower, and of course, was very conscious when I was doing it. And it was the greatest shower I ever had in my life at the time. Um, and at the time, I thought that was best shower ever. But I'm finding that as I'm doing these exercises to create spaces in my life, that every shower can be the best shower that you've ever had in your life, that you can really just enjoy it. It's so wonderful that we can just adjust the temperature to be just right for us, and and just enjoy those moments. And what this does is it creates your presence. It helps your presence to grow, and it's not even so much important how long you're able to maintain that present moment that you're there. It's more important to do it frequently throughout the day, and keep creating gaps in your day of being present, doing everything. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you're doing, but to create those spaces. And what that does is it naturally, those spaces will begin to grow and allow presence to flow into the things that you're doing, and create more joy and more happiness for yourself. And what it also does is it helps you recognize um, moments of suffering that you're creating for yourself. And nobody purposely chooses suffering for themselves. It's only when you're not conscious that you're suffering that you tend to suffer. That's with your thinking. Like, for example, I'm noticing that I live in Florida, and it tends to be hot in the summer, and very normal for people to complain about the heat, or complain about the weather in general. I think that's probably true for everybody, no matter where you live. They tend to complain about the weather at some point. I mean, it has to be perfect conditions for them to not complain, but even that doesn't last very long, before they find something else to complain about. There's a conditioning pattern that's there that's just not going to be satisfied with the way it is. And somehow that has left me. I don't really know when that happened, but it happened. I think it's happened this year, and I don't have that complaining mind about weather now. It's something simple, but I've noticed that has gone, and since it has gone, I've been able to enjoy the days here in Florida, and finally just enjoy them for what they are. And I've been able to go outside and just watch the sky, and the clouds, and the birds. The birds are for me are just fascinating. Just the way they glide, and just so free. And as I watch them, I feel myself just being free with them, and I watch the trees and everything, and I feel the warmth and the wind, and everything is just very comfortable the way it is, and I enjoy all of it, and there's no wishing it was different, and and I'm thoroughly enjoying just being there. And I've been, sometimes I do that at my work whenever I have a break, and I'll go just outside the building, and I do that, and I just look at everything, and then I come back in, and then I'll notice people come in that were just outside, just like I was, and then they'll complain and say, "Oh my God, it was so humid out there," you know, and and I'm like, "Well, was it?" I I almost don't even know what to say with that, because I'm more perplexed. Like, was it really humid? Because I didn't notice, because I was too busy just being there, and and I believe that's just because for whatever reason, somehow from creating those spaces, the complaining mind is gone when it comes to at least that part of my life, the weather. And I'm noticing that I'm seeing that in other things that I'm doing, and I'm not totally free of everything, of all suffering, but um, I don't know if I ever will, or if anybody really ever is. I would imagine that there's always going to be something else that you'll notice that you're creating suffering for yourself. But thing is, the answer is going to be always the same, which is to bring it to your attention and to realize that you're creating suffering for yourself. To realize that whatever you're experiencing, whatever feeling you have, whatever thought you're having, that's all it is. It's just a feeling. It's just a thought. And it's nothing to be taken personally. It's just conditioning. It's not really, you're holding on to it like it's yours, but it's not yours. It's just conditioning patterns. You've picked it up along the way, and as you look at it, you can just allow it to be there, and then eventually just allow it to let go. I mean, you'll just naturally let it go anyway, just by looking at it. Um, just because you'll know that there's nothing personal to it. This feeling of I don't want to be here, or whatever it is. Okay, I'll just allow that to be there, and I'll just watch that feeling. It's nothing personal. It's not me. That's just a feeling. That's just conditioning patterns. And I'll just watch it and just allow it to be. And the more you allow it to be, the more it just kind of drops away on its own. You create space between you and those thoughts and feelings. And but the only way to be able to do that is to live your life like that, to live your life by creating those spaces. There was another time that happened. When I went to the Monroe Institute, I did notice that was happening, because we meditated several times a day, and I didn't realize that was what was happening. I did notice that when I came back home from from that meditative experience, that I had a difficult adjustment period to come back into my normal life, Um, and I knew I had experienced this feeling of total calm and peace, and but I didn't know how to bring it into my life. And it's taken me a long while, but I finally kind of come back to that. It's kind of come back full circle, back to where I was at that peaceful time at the Monroe Institute, and I've kind of brought that back into my life here, not just at my home, but also at my work. I'm doing that a lot at my work. I mean, your work is big portion of your life as well. The other thing I've noticed is that I don't notice days anymore. I I see people, like You know, oh my God, it's Monday. You know, and again, these complaining thoughts in their mind. You know, oh, yeah, Monday. It's just now. It's just now. It is. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just Monday. I mean, on a calendar, but I mean, it's just now. It's no different than Wednesday or Friday. You know. But then I see people going, oh man, thank goodness it's Friday, huh? It doesn't make a difference to me on whether it's Saturday either. So I'm noticing I don't really much, I don't look forward uh, to any other day, to vacations or work, or I don't regret uh, other days. I'm living very much more present. That's becoming more my home now. And, um, and because of that, I'm noticing I'm not getting those type of complaining suffering. There are certain amounts of things, you know, you may experience pain or, uh, but suffering means to continue it in your mind and recycle that experience over and over and over again. That's the suffering occurs. And I'm not getting that as much. And I can only attribute it to these exercises that I've been doing, just creating those spaces in my life. And I just wanted to talk about that. Thank you everyone for watching, and take care.